Evening, everybody. Happy Thursday once again. It is the last Thursday, excuse me, that I'll be running this year. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. I'm really looking forward to this one. As you may have seen from the title, this live meditation is going to be all about reflection. Since it's the end of the year, it feels like particularly relevant with everything going on to just kind of take a little bit of a look back over the year that we've had. I'm going to talk maybe very briefly about the idea of reflection and what that involves and why I think it's important, but I'm going to keep that pretty minimal tonight so that we can really use this time to have a really nice, deep, and hopefully exciting and insightful meditation tonight. But before I can get into any of that, we need to do our little quick drop-in meditation. I'm also going to keep this a little bit shorter tonight, thinking maybe 5 minutes-ish, rather than going for the full 7, so that we can really capitalize on having the using all of that time for our longer meditation. So I'll invite you now just to meditate with me for just a few minutes, using whatever techniques you feel appropriate to be used at the moment. It might be just sitting and observing. You might like to follow your breath. You might like to do a little body scan, or anything else, in fact, that you have in your repertoire. Because if you've been following along by now for a while, I imagine by now you've got quite a bit in there, which is fantastic. So either way, I'm going to settle in, and I will see you all in just a couple of minutes. Thank you, everybody. And you can slowly come back into the room whenever you're ready. Or, I mean, I guess, you can also just stay in meditation and meditate throughout the whole video. Of course, that's an option too. I don't know, I've never thought of that before, but there you go. So, as I said before, tonight I'm going to be talking a little bit about reflection, just very briefly, and then we're going to go and do a nice long meditation to just kind of reflect on the year that's been. Because I feel like that would be a nice way to kind of wrap things up a little bit. So reflection, I guess, maybe like what I mean by reflection is the idea of looking back on what has been, so that we can kind of glean what we can from it, to help us in an effort to help us be better in the moment and also to move forward. So we, there are a whole bunch of different reasons why we might like to do this, whereas to get a sense of our own progress towards where we're going towards, to perhaps see if there's something that we could have done better, but perhaps like one that's like slightly less often used or acknowledged is to actually have a look at what we've done well and how well things have worked out, and perhaps in like ways that we have not yet had time or given us, of where we're actually at and what's actually been, how things have actually been going, because there's this idea that hindsight is 2020, and I don't personally agree with that. Actually, I don't think hindsight is 2020 at all. Hindsight is really just as coloured by our perceptions, our beliefs, the emotional states that we find ourselves in when we're looking back on certain things, as they are as we're experiencing them in the moment. Perhaps even more so, because when things are in our memory, we have the ability to alter and play around with things. Oh, frozen on your screen. Hopefully that comes back. I'm moving on mine, but thank you for letting me know. I don't know what I can do about that from here, but hopefully you can at least hear me, because that's kind of the important part anyway. Yeah, so hindsight, and looking back on things. So yeah, hindsight is not, as we would often like to believe, 2020. It is absolutely just as coloured by how we are currently seeing and doing and feeling about things, as our experience is in the moment. So a really interesting thing that is, and a really beautiful thing about proper reflecting as opposed to ruminating on things, is that we can actually get a proper gauge when we really take a little bit of time and kind of step above our our more emotional kind of attachments to what's happened in the past, to actually have a look and see what's really going on. Another really fantastic thing about reflection is that we can, when we're looking back over larger swaths of time, from say the start of the year to the end of the year, so we can get a bit of an idea of what cycles are repeating themselves, what patterns seem to be playing out, and while we're kind of just looking at that, we can get a bit more of a stronger sense of what some of the things we might be able to change, if that is desired or required, to get to perhaps somewhere that we would like to be, rather than where we see ourselves currently going, which is another part of it, right? If we can recognize a pattern, how things are playing out in the past, then there is, as we go, will continue to happen as we continue on into the future. And another thing, so yeah, it's a really powerful tool like that. But one of the kind of keys with it, I suppose, is to remember that we are not reliving our experiences, and that regardless of how high we might be able to take ourselves out of them, if we're kind of looking back at an event from an emotional place, our perception of it is going to be very, very coloured by that, and that will significantly change what we see and what we perceive there. It's part of reflection, just the same way that and I guess it also highlights for us that the way we view an event is not the event itself, and it's not actually how it happened. The same way that a reflection of the moon in a pond is not the moon. The way that we see an event, like when we're reflecting on something, that's not the thing itself. And in that we have, just like the moon on the water, we have the ability to control how clear that is, and to a certain extent, like manipulate it, and perhaps glean things from it that we may not previously have been aware of. But all in all, reflection is just a really powerful tool and a really great way to kind of gauge where we're going and how things have actually been going. And it's always quite useful to acknowledge just how far we've come. So rather than waffling on for even longer about this, that's kind of all I really wanted to say about it, because that's the theme that I'm going to be basing this meditation on. Just to give you a bit of an idea, actually, of what we'll be doing, what I'll be offering tonight. I'm going to be inviting you to go back to the start of the year and just get a little bit of a sense of to start here, get a bit of a sense of where you are now, and then we're going to get a bit of a sense of where we were 12 months ago, right at the start of 2021. What we thought was going to happen, what we wanted to do, all of those kinds of things. And then we're going to walk through month by month relatively quickly as we go through them, getting a bit of a sense of them, but not so long that we start to go into this happened on this day, and it's more of a feeling, more of a sense of things than it is a laying out everything that happened in chronological order. Although we will be moving through the months in chronological order. We're going to move through and get a sense, and we'll probably do this a couple of times, and I will be offering different suggestions throughout each of them, just to kind of draw your attention to different aspects of how things have gone for you over the last year. At which point we will kind of start to look forward into the year to come, and perhaps connect you to what you might like to see then. Some of the things that you might like to do differently, some of the things you would like to keep, and what your intentions might be for the year to come. So without further ado, I've kind of explained a little bit about what we'll be doing, and it is a Thursday evening, and it's kind of that time when I start to offer suggestions about the fact that you might like to get comfortable in your seat. So you might like to get comfortable in your seat, or perhaps even lie down, finding some kind of comfortable position for the next little while. And just making any adjustments you need as you do, and perhaps even beginning to close down your eyes and allow your attention to come into your body. You might be maybe you're aware of tension in your face or shoulders, and that's okay. In fact, you can just relax those. You might like to allow your body to begin to grow heavy. Perhaps relaxing your abdominal grip, letting your legs sink into the floor or chair. And notice your breath as it grows deeper, as you move down, gently down in your body, and bring all your attention onto the inside. And as you continue to drop further down on the inside, just like to remind you that you need only take any suggestions that feel good and right and true, and that any others you can just allow them to drift past you as you continue to drift, just as you continue to drift deeply down on the inside. I'd like you to imagine entering a state of complete relaxation. Imagine that your arms and legs and hands are growing loose. Imagine that the muscles in your face and back softening, and everything can slow down even more. Imagine that this is happening automatically and there's nothing you can do to stop it. As you continue to enter a deeper and deeper state of relaxation. That's right. And as you continue to relax and breathe, I'd just like you, where you are right now in your life, the physical aspects of yourself that are present, the quality and quantity of your relationships, the nature of the services you are providing for others, and the quality and relationship that you have to this, and all the other particular aspects of your life as they are right now, at the end of the year that has just been. That's it. And when you have a nice sense, comprehensive sense of where you are right now, I'd like you to imagine yourself encased in a bubble and float up in this bubble, up and back in time, in the particular direction that the past orients itself for you, floating all the way back in your bubble to the very beginning of this year that is about to be. And I'd like you to notice as you float down into the start of this year, what you see looking forward, what particular dreams you are holding for the year ahead, what aspirations you have for yourself and those around you, and the various other specific components of your life as they are at the very beginning of this year. that's it. And without changing anything, I invite you to continue to float in your bubble and float forwards in time, only as fast as you can get a sense of the passage of time throughout the year and the passing of the events as they happened. Floating gently through January, floating freely through February, moving softly through March, guiding yourself through April and through May, just allowing yourself to flow through June and July into August, and continuing to float forward through time as you get a sense of the passage of the year that's been, on through September and October, all the way through November and into December, until you arrive back at this present moment, floating all the way back to now. As you have a sense of the passage of events and time throughout the year. With this sense, I wonder what you are able to notice. Whether certain things may have stood out for you, particular events or certain things that may have happened. And just notice the quality of these things, these particular things that have stood out to you. And how you feel. The particular feelings that wash over you as you reflect upon the year that's been. And I'd like to invite you now to float back up and all the way back to the start of 2021. Back to the start of this year that's been. And this time, as we move through the year that's been, just place a little marker, something that you will be able to recognize. Place a little marker for all of the things that you did well, all of the things that you enjoyed, all of the things that you would like to acknowledge, all of the wonderful things that happened that you wouldn't change for the world. And float through the year now, placing these markers in each month through January and February, placing little markers in March and in April, marking out these particular things in in May and June. As you bring yourself through September and October, November and December, placing markers on all the wonderful things that you've done and achieved this year. That's it. And now floating back up, again all the way back to the start of the year. Float again through the year and place another kind of marker. A marker on certain kinds of events as you flow through the year that's been once more. A marker on all the particular things that you would like to have done a little differently. All of the things around which you would like to perhaps tweak or learn something from. Perhaps the things that could have done or gone a little better for you. Float through the year, through March, through January and February and March, through April and May and June, and just place these little markers. That's it. Placing little markers for all the things that could have gone a little better, or a lot better for that matter. We continue to float and place these markers through July and August and September, through October and November and December, until you get all the way back to now. And I wonder if you're aware of just how much you could learn from this year that's been. Just how much there is available to you in this swath of experience that you've been experiencing. So this time, I'd like you to float back to the start of the year and float through each month. And as you float, experience this year exactly as you would like to. Experience the year that you would like to have experienced. And notice all the things that you can notice. As you play through your ideal year, month by month, and notice how as you do so, the fact that you can notice things about this year that's been means that you can glean even more wonderful learnings, things that will be useful for you in the year to come. Imagine these learnings coming to you effortlessly and easily. Imagine they are coming to you automatically and there's nothing you can do to stop them. Imagine these learnings coming to you as you float through January, and float through February, as you float through March, and drift through April. Continuing to drift through June and July, May for that matter, continuing to drift through September and August with all these learnings that bubble up automatically and effortlessly. That's it. Because it's funny, isn't it, how no matter how long we look at things, there always seems to be more to gain. And how just a little shift, even the smallest shift in our perspectives, can bring whole wealths of experience to light that we may never have known was possible before. And letting yourself come back to your body now. Feel yourself arrive in your body with all these marvelous learnings that you have just created. Breathe these learnings in and feel them circulating throughout your body, throughout your mind and nervous system, as they integrate effortlessly and easily. And notice how all of them are automatically reframing into a positive form. Imagine them reframing automatically. As they sink into your system and empower you for the year ahead. That's right. Bring your attention to your heart. Notice your heart beating in your chest. Notice the gift of your heart that works tirelessly in your favor. Give thanks to your heart for all that it does for you. And I wonder, as you continue to focus on your heart, I wonder, what does your heart want for you for the year to come? And I wonder if these answers will come to you as in the form of images, or perhaps as words whispering softly, or perhaps a sense, a deep sense of knowing, and whether these revelations will come to you in the immediate or perhaps in your sleep tonight. In the sleep that you can sleep so deeply. Holding this connection with your heart. And I wonder, as we look forward into the year ahead of us, just what will be possible for you now that you have these intentions and all of these marvelous learnings that you've just discovered. I wonder how many resources will become available to you, how effortlessly you will be able to continue to grow will be coming to you. How effortlessly you can be continuing to grow. And how unable you'll be to stop this unfolding process. Because it's funny, isn't it, how really growth and expansion are such effortless processes. And no matter where you see them in nature, including within ourselves, like flowers opening to the sun, they continue to blossom and grow in beautiful and dazzling ways. And come back to the present now and bring all of this with you, knowing and trusting that it will all continue to integrate and unfold automatically without even trying. Coming all the way back into your body and slowly beginning to bring yourself back into the room. Perhaps noticing and wiggling your fingers and toes. Maybe taking a deeper breath and gently letting it out as you slowly come all the way back, coming all the way back up into the room, only as fast as feels safe and comfortable to do so. All the way back up until you're back in the room where you can open your eyes and rejoin me for the last few moments of this final meditation for the year. Thank you for joining me for this. This has been like really, really nice. I've been really looking forward to doing this little meditation, and I look forward to like kind of refining it even more. It's that was a lot of fun to do, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And I look forward to continuing to do this in next year as well. I am going to be running these meditations next year, but like I said before, this is the last one for the year. I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break to enjoy my holidays, catch up with my family, all that kind of lovely stuff. And so yeah, during that time, over the next couple of weeks, I will not be running these. However, I will be back from, I think the first Thursday I will be back will be the 13th of January. So from the 13th of January, assuming I've got that date correct, or thereabouts, the live will pop up in your feed. But yeah, from that, I believe it's the second Thursday of January, I will be back and doing this again. Scott will be joining me for some of them, and I will have guests for some of them. And it'll be a whole lot of fun. We'll be exploring all kinds of different things once again. The format will likely be similar, maybe different. We'll have to see. New year, lots of new things. But thank you all so much for joining me for all of these this year. It's been such a pleasure. I've had so much fun doing them, and I very much look forward to continuing to do them and continuing to meditate with you into the future. I hope you all have a fantastic night. Have a wonderful Christmas and New Year's and just general holiday. I hope you get lots of really wonderful rest and feel refreshed and joyful and just connected to all of the beautiful people you have around you. So thank you so much, and I will see you next year. Bye.